Oh, yes.
Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm very excited to bring you a review for the brand new Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Series 1 Hulk. Like the other 20th Anniversary figures, this is a recreation of the old Toy Biz Series 1 Incredible Hulk toy. Just given some nice touch-ups with modern engineering, a little bit of the Hasbro design philosophy, and a cardboard backdrop meant to emulate both the original plastic backdrop that came with the Toy Biz figure, as well as a cover for an issue of the Hulk comic book. What's especially cool about this figure, aside from the fact that he's absolutely massive, is that in addition to his little backdrop, he actually comes with a 3D plastic display stand, which is something that the other two figures so far have lacked. So, personally, I'm pretty stoked for that because we finally get something that's a little more substantial than just like a black plastic clip with a piece of cardboard. That being said, if you've seen my reviews before, you know how this goes. We're going to take a look at the toy's packaging, then we'll open it up, we'll get a good look at the Hulk, we'll check out his posability, his accessories, we'll see his backdrop, his little base stand there. Naturally, I'll be doing plenty of group shots and comparisons today, and then at the end of the video, I'll give my final thoughts. So our Hulk comes in a recreation of the original Toy Biz style Marvel Legends packaging. It's got a really big plastic bubble on the front. You can see the figure front and center. You can see an alternate head for him. You can see what appears to be some sort of busted robot head. I'm not entirely sure what that's a reference to, so I'll have to dig into that a bit. You can see the little plastic display stand back there. And, oh, does he actually have the little clip thing? Yeah, he does. It's like on the bottom. I think it's all kind of hidden. Yeah, we'll see it soon. All right, it does. Well, yeah, I mean, it does call out a reversible backdrop. Okay, so on the back we get a render of the toy standing on its cool base. We get the backdrop showing the illustration side that's meant to represent the old like hole in the wall plastic backdrop that the Toy Biz toy came with. And then we just get our little blurb about 20 years Marvel Legends, iconic characters, all that. So overall, very, very cool packaging. I love the retro styling, and I'm really stoked about this base. That is something that really goes above and beyond on a toy that's already above and beyond. Again, this thing's huge. You can't tell by me lifting it, but it's just really heavy. Like, probably the heaviest Legends toy I own so far. And I will be weighing it to make sure, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be the most, like, literally massive toy that I have in Legends so far. All right, now we get to see our toy out of the package, and as you can see, there's quite a bit here. So we have our main Hulk figure, as massive as he is. We have the alternate head, the smashed up robot head, two closed fists, his little display stand there with like the smashed in pavement and the looks like gamma energy coming out of it, and then the backdrop, which is probably way too small for him. Kind of surprised they even included it, honestly. Like, yeah, his feet will go on there, but you're not going to get a lot of room to actually get him on, like, the whole thing, but whatever. I will also point out, this thing smells really bad. I don't know if it's, like, the paint they use or whatever, but it does not smell pleasant coming out of the packaging. I just want to warn you right now, when you open it, it's rather odious. All right, let's take a look at our Hulk, see everything he does. So his head is on a double ball joint, which is cool. He's got his universal shoulders. He has, this is what's really weird, he has a bicep swivel, but the bicep turns independently of the rest of the arm. You see that? I've never seen that before. So he's got a bicep swivel and an elbow swivel. So you kind of have to utilize both together to make it look like a normal bicep swivel. I don't know why he's built that way. It's interesting. He has only single bend elbows, and they go to less than a 90, unfortunately. He's got his universal wrists. He has, like, reverse butterfly joints, so the butterfly joints just go backwards, which I guess is for him to do his, like, a little thunderclap thing, or just to roar angrily. It's a nice touch. He's got a ball joint in the upper torso, lets him basically have an ab crunch and extension, and then lean side to side a little bit, but not much because his torso is just so wide. Does have a full waist swivel, universal hips, thigh swivel, double bend knees. This piece right here is nice. It's made of a softer plastic, like a rubber, to form the frayed bottoms of his pants. And then he has ankle rock and rotation. So quite a bit of posability on this big guy. The only thing he's really lacking is a double elbow bend, but I imagine that's hard to do for a big bulky character like this. But he gets, enough articulation to where you can have a lot of fun with him. Now, I really don't know what's up with the robot head. I guess it's just meant to be there. I mean, it's got a socket in there, like it's meant to go onto something. I don't know if it actually is. Is this like one of those, extras for a different figure that I'm not aware of? Kind of like how, Onslaught's head came with like a different toy. So you can make him regular Onslaught instead of Red Skull Onslaught. I'm not sure. You can see it's like somewhat translucent. Kind of looks like one of those Werther's candies. And I guess it's just meant to be held. Like you can kind of get it to go on his open hands and look kind of cool, I guess. Recite a little Shakespeare there to the robot. Just a neat little accessory. I wish I knew more about it. Of course, we have our fists. So we'll go ahead and pop this out. Look how small the pegs are for these hands. I'm really surprised by that and a little concerned, because those little pegs have to bear a lot of load here. So we can get the fist in there so that Hulk can smash. They look pretty good. Then we can swap out his deranged, screaming, angry head for more of a neutral one. I have to say, I'm going to be honest, I think the head sculpts are pretty ugly. Like, not that they're not well done. They are incredibly detailed, well painted. It's just not pretty to look at. This is like one of the ugliest renditions of Hulk I've ever seen. But still cool looking. So we get all that. You can get him on his little backdrop if you want to. But like I said, it's going to be kind of hard fitting him on there. He's so big. Here, you can do something like that, I suppose. And his card, I believe, is bigger than the little backdrop cards for the other two characters so far. Maybe not. I think I'm just imagining that. So that is kind of unfortunate because it's so small behind him. I mean, he's like taller than it, so it doesn't really show itself off well. All right, and then here's the reverse. This is Incredible Hulk. Looks like number 314. So they got pretty far with these Hulk issues, and it's pretty cool. So you can see the Leader, Rhino, Juggernaut, Abomination, and MODOK. So 3 really heavy hitters, like physically, and then 2 very, very smart, very sinister enemies for the Hulk. Looks like that was a pretty fun issue. I'll have to read it someday. Okay, now we get our really cool display stand. I like this. So it's incredibly detailed. You can see all just the busted up pavement. I like this part where it's just, a crater that's been smashed in. You got the energy coming out. So it has 3 pegs for his feet. So 3 different ways you can display him here. I think, let's see. Let's put him like this and like that. So I'll need to like bend the knee. Bend the knee. Anyone a Game of Thrones fan? I was up until like the tail end of it. It got awful. All right. Surf's up, dude. All right, check that out. That's really cool. So you can have Hulk, displayed one of several different ways on this really, really cool display. You can get the backdrop behind him to really complete the look. And there's a lot going on. It really works out. I think the total package here for, what you're getting and what you're paying for it, I think it's well worth it. I'm very impressed. Now here's a group shot of all of my very large Marvel Legends figures so far. And I have them arranged here in a very specific order. I said during the beginning of the review that I thought Hulk was the heaviest out of all my figures. I ended up being actually quite wrong. He's about 3rd in line. So when I weighed Hulk, he weighs about 438 grams, which is, no small feat. It is about 100 grams heavier than Thing here. But then our Armadillo actually weighed in at 475, and MODOK, I was actually surprised by this. I didn't think he was that heavy because he's very hollow. MODOK was, I think, 493. So the Hulk despite being, taller than Armadillo and feeling really heavy, he's actually not as big as these guys. Now, of course, if you throw in all of his, accessories and the stand and all that, he would probably top them all out. But yeah, I was really surprised. He is not the most massive figure that I have. He looks the part, but he's actually a little bit lighter, even than, Armadillo, so I was surprised there. I also wonder just how well he's actually scaled to Thing, because I don't remember Thing being that much smaller than the Hulk. Granted, the Hulk can change size, so maybe this is just him being a bit bigger. Who knows? I do know, however, that these guys make for a very cool looking group shot. And now here's another cool group shot. This is Hulk with the other two 20th anniversary figures that have been released so far. There is one more coming, however, these three are the only ones that are heroic characters. The last one is going to be the villain Toad. So this makes for as good a group shot as any. So we have the first one that was released, which was our Iron Man. And then we got our Captain America, which I have to say is an absolutely amazing figure. I have nothing but praise for that toy, and virtually everyone else I've seen has nothing but praise for that toy. And then we have our very awesome Hulk, who is also an awesome figure. I still think his face sculpt is kind of unappealing. Again, not bad in any way, but just, I think I prefer the 80th anniversary Hulk face over this one. This one's almost too realistic. Sometimes you want a little bit less ugly in your giant green rage monster, but that's just me. Maybe some people prefer it. I feel he could have gone with just a little smoothing out on the harsh lines of the face there. But I will say that these three look absolutely phenomenal together. All three of them are done in, retro comic book style. They all have a pretty similar aesthetic. I think Hulk's colors might be a little dark compared to the other two. If you looked at the colors of his render on the back of the packaging, that would probably be a little bit better for, matching with these two than what we got. What we got is a bit more realistic looking with a lot of, real dark wash on the skin and then really dark pants with some light wash on the front there. So, I don't know. I think personally I would prefer if he used that slightly lighter color palette, but it really is like a small nitpicky thing. I am more than satisfied having these three displayed together. And this is going to complete our look at the new 20th anniversary Hulk. I have to say, I think this is an absolute masterpiece of a figure. Everything from the sculpting to the articulation, the engineering, the paint details, though, while they're subtle, they are all over the place. The bevy of accessories and display opportunities this guy has, optional hands, everything is just awesome. Now, yes, I have said that I'm not a fan of, how his face looks, and that's just purely a personal thing. It's an amazing face sculpt. Both face sculpts are phenomenal. I think they just make him look unnecessarily ugly. But if you turn into a giant, 8-foot tall rage monster, you probably wouldn't look your best either. So, sometimes characters can just be unattractive, and I accept that. It's just a minor personal thing. So yeah, I think he is perfection. And, he does cost more than your standard Legends figure, but you're getting so much more for him that I think it's a very fair asking price. And he's just a lot of fun to have. He may not be the most massive toy in my collection, but he definitely has the most presence. And especially when you put him on his display stand here, put the backdrop behind him, I mean, he is like a whole just display by himself. So I am beyond satisfied with this thing. I think it is amazing. And if you haven't picked him up yet, and you need a good Hulk, and you're a Marvel Legends collector, I highly recommend this guy. He is just as good as I could have hoped for. Of course, that is just my view on this figure, so now I want to know what you all think. Am I heaping too much praise on this guy? Is he not as good as I think he is? Keep in mind, this is my first and only Marvel Legends Hulk. So do you think that, maybe there's something better out there? Or do you agree that this really is just top-notch, best of the best kind of stuff? Any and all feedback, as always, is welcome in the comments section. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to toss it a like. Let YouTube know you want to see more stuff like this. If you do want to see more like this, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you always get a heads up when I post something new. And thank you for joining me for this very, very awesome look at the new Marvel Legends 20th Anniversary Series 1 Hulk. With all that said, I will see you next time.